So good afternoon, everybody. We're here on our Tuesday training for the team, and there's a couple of announcements that I wanted to make. One is that where is it here? So London, there is going to be a meeting in London on the 10th. That's this Saturday. If you know of anybody in London, some of our team is going to be there, Laura Balzer and Dr. Stacy and stuff. So if we have anybody that we can send to that meeting, we can let them know to look, to have our people talk with them. So, because it is a big meeting. It's just not the Evolved. Well, I don't know if it's just the Evolved team, but it's more than, it's Romania and Spain and a lot of European countries are going to be represented there. So if you know anybody in London. And then on San Antonio is the 17th. And both of those flyers are up in boards under upcoming events. Under upcoming events under events. So the flyers for both of those are there. Excuse me. I'm going to be going to Orlando. I made a last minute decision to go and I managed to get a ticket. So I'll be going there. So that should be really exciting to, be with David for that. Tomorrow night is David's call. Tomorrow during the day and tomorrow evening on Wednesday. And he's going to be talking about Silent Night and X39. So be sure to send that out to people, get the flyer for that. And then that's what's coming up. And Joy, I wanted to do a little training today on stories, on how to, about telling your story.
Okay.
Now, and you had an amazing story that you shared yesterday on Beamy's call. Would you share that here with us today? And then
I sure will.
So if you can, let me tell you what we'd like to try to cut the time down to like
3 minutes
to 2 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
Best, because this is something you want to be able to say really quickly to people. So let's do a little training on that. So go ahead and tell your story. What happened yesterday, right? Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So I got a sinus infection and I took some antibiotics and a Z-Pack, thinking that it was cleared up. I went to Minnesota and I did not know it, but even though I didn't feel like I had any sinus, I actually had all kinds of infection in my ears. And so when I flew on the plane, it actually blew out both of my eardrums. And so I ended up going to another doctor and got on some more antibiotics for that. And I've been on the X39 patch. And also, well, I'm on a lot of different patches, but I'm definitely on the X39 patch and the carnosine and the Eon and the glutathione. I rotate all of them. And I my daughter insisted I make an appointment at the ear doctor back here whenever I got back home. I did. And it turned out that my right ear was pretty much healed. There was no hole in my ear. And the left ear had a bad crust in it. He couldn't even get to it. So he said, I'll just come on back and we'll look at that later. So I went back and a month later, and he was able to get all the stuff out of there that had built up because it had, bled and had all that stuff in there. And then he said, you've got a hole in your ear and it's not going to stop. If you were in an ATV accident, and you got to stick in your ear, then that would heal. But this is not something that can heal. You're going to have surgery to have this repaired. So I'm going to send you to a world-renowned ear doctor that's in Oklahoma City so that he can look at you. And I said, well, I'm taking X39 and carnosine. I'm on Eon. And are you sure that this isn't going to heal? And he said, no, it's not going to heal. So I went to the specialist yesterday, and he looked at my ears, both of them. And there was some more debris that built up in this ear, and he got that out, and it was in perfect condition. There's no hole in it at all. And I got so excited. I said, that's the X39. I use the X39. It got healed. And so anyway, I showed him. He goes, what are you talking about? And so I pulled out the X39, showed it to him, and gave him my credit card, my business card, and said, check this out and call me. And make sure you tell the doctor, Dr. Barnes, so that he'll know. So anyway, that's my story. That's what happened.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Did I keep it under 2 minutes?
I didn't time it, but that was really good and tight. Yes, it was tight. It gave, the timeline, because you want to mention what it was before, what you did about it, which was use the X39 and the patches you did, and then now what's happening, what the outcome was.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I've told the story a couple of times today already.
Well, so what you should do, Joy, is go ahead and record yourself doing the video, and
so that I can have it down.
so you can have it down, yeah, and then practice with that, and then have that, and we can put. There was another testimony, somebody did a short testimony for a minute long of a hearing aid. And so they had hearing aids. They've worn hearing aids for 30 years. And he's been on the patch for about a year. And now he only needs a hearing aid in one ear. So I have actually started a new place in boards under ear. And then when you open that up, it's got tinnitus and it's got hearing loss. And then we can put ruptured eardrum, and then put your testimony there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that'll be good. I'll do
So,
that.
People have ear issues. You can just look in there and say, okay, here's 3 people that we know, that's, yes, I do know them, because I've shared the picture of the spinal canal that we have, where it was all narrowed, and now it's okay. And a doctor saw that picture, and she has signed up and joined, but she says, is that really the same person? Or is this, how do you know that? And I said, well, this is somebody, it's a friend of a friend. I didn't tell her I don't really know who it was, but it's a friend of a friend who had that result. So if we can have our own, from our group of people that we know who they are and what the issue was, that, it has more credibility. Yes, I do know that person, and yes, she did have that result. Yeah.
So I did on Sabbath. I was at anyways, I was talking to a friend of mine, a lady who has heart failure. And I believe is congestive heart failure? Is that heart failure?
Mhm.
Okay, so I have congestive heart failure. And so so she has it, she's on oxygen, she's overweight, she's attempting to change things, but she's really having a difficult time. And so I just really felt led to show, to give her the patch, talk to her about the X39. So I briefly explained it. I didn't go into a lot of detail. I just told her that it activates stem cells. And so then and so she said, would it help? My arm, it's hurting really bad right here. And I said, well, we could always put the stem cell patch there and see what happens. And so she put it on there. And the next day she called me and told me that she wanted to order some because it quit hurting.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was amazing. And so a one patch wonder, I'm so happy. Anyway, so she's been watching the she's been looking over that whole website that of the startx39now.com. And she was trying to get onto the Zoom last night, but she doesn't have it on her phone. And it said that she has to have a credit card or something in order to install it on her phone. And so I'm just don't know what's going on with that. So the only thing I can do is just send her recordings that are already on YouTube.
Well, can you, is she close to you? You can help her when you see her or something? Will you see her?
She lives about a half an hour away from me.
Was she at
Another
church?
town.
Will you see her at church again?
I'll see her on Saturday. Yes.
Saturday. Well, then why don't you see if you can help her download that? Because she shouldn't have to pay for the Zoom on.
I didn't think so either. And it
Yeah,
just wants
so
to have this credit card on file. You know, because whenever it's an in-app download, I'm understanding that you have to have a credit card on file just in case you want to upgrade it. And of
is that
course,
something new they're doing? I don't know.
I don't know, it seems like it is weird.
Okay.
And I can't, I don't I already have it on my phone, so I can't see any difference.
Right, right. Well, just see if you can help her with that and see if it's really the right Zoom and the right app, that she's not getting scammed by something. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, Pam, did you have anything you wanted to talk about?
Can't really think of anything right now.
Okay. So does anybody have any friends in San Antonio?
Well, you know I do.
Yeah.
I was considering going there, but I haven't made a firm decision yet.
To that event?
Yeah,
How far would that be for you?
it would be about 5 hours.
5 hours? Wow. Okay.
A 5 hour drive. And then I would stay at my brother's house.
Is your brother in San Antonio?
Mm-hmm.
Is he gonna go?
He won't go unless I make him. I mean, he would have to go with me. Yeah, we would go together. He would go.
Okay. I mean, he won't go
I
without
mean,
you?
he believes in the patch. He believes in
Huh.
the patch, but he doesn't use it. He believes it works, but he doesn't use it.
Yeah, somebody, well, Toby Keith passed away last night.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
What for?
Oh,
What's
he had
that?
cancer.
I didn't know that.
He had
I didn't know
cancer.
that either.
Yeah, I was working with one of his band members, um,
Oh man.
here in Houston.
How old was he? Do you know?
I don't know how old he was. I really didn't know anything about him. He just told me that he was in the band and was going to go up there the next day and they were going to be doing these shows in Vegas and stuff. So, when I found out, I was looking at something else on Facebook and I saw that he had passed, and so I called my friend and told him.
Wow.
I mean, he was crying on the phone and he was really upset.
Yeah, that's sad. That's
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah.
Uh.
Yeah, I had just sent him some more information last week because I found out that Toby was really was walking with the Lord
Mm-hmm.
and so I sent him the where David Schmidt talks about how he was inspired by the Bible and the math in the Bible to help with the invention of the patches and stuff. So
Yeah. So one of the gentlemen in my church that had cancer in his kidney actually, and had to have some of it removed. Ended up having he was back to church on Sunday, not just because of the cancer, but he just ended up becoming his blood pressure isn't doing right. And so it just, all of a sudden will bottom out and then he'll just fall over. He'll just, pass out. And, so he was at Veterans and now he's back. And so I wanted to, I told him that, I felt like the patch would help him. And he goes, Joy, I'm already on medicine. The doctor already has me on medicine. You don't need to talk to me about this stuff. So anyway, it was sad. That's really sad.
Yeah,
It's sad.
yeah.
You don't need to talk to me about this stuff. I'm okay. It's like, okay. I know you're starting to look like a feeble old man. You don't need to be looking that way.
Well, that's all we can do is just offer a solution, and then they're not interested,
They're not interested.
they're not interested.
Just like the gospel. You
Yeah,
take up the gospel. Either they receive it or they don't.
yeah. So but you don't give up, because things will change,
Yeah, that's
maybe in
true.
a different place at another time.
I
So,
know.
yeah,
I know. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it's just like with that bird. I mean, like if I'd done the bird a week ago, of course I didn't know any better.
yeah.
So I gave him antibiotics for the past 3 days, but he's wasn't getting better.
Doing
So
it.
I took him to the vet.
Okay. Well, the other thing I wanted to talk about is getting with your people who are already on the patch, having results, and talking with them about sharing with a couple of their friends, who do they know that is suffering, of their family or their friends. Just, you don't say, to do a business or to do anything like that, just to help their friends. And so that's a way that we can work with the people we already have on our team to develop them as, having more people on your team.
Right.
But through people who are already believers, and
Right.
using the patches. So they have their testimony with that person, and, to work with them. So do you have anybody like that, Joy, that?
I do. I have Loretta, Lori
Okay.
Jones. Okay, and she is already talked to people, and she has a very good testimony because
Okay.
remember her husband who has prostate cancer, it went from 9 to 6.
Mm-hmm.
And she was allergic to everything. She couldn't eat walnuts, soy. She couldn't eat it hardly, anything. And so
She's been that way for years, right?
she just went in and had blood work done, and she is allergic to nothing.
Okay. Does she?
She's allergic to nothing.
Nothing now. Would she be willing to do a testimony, do you think? Has she listened to a call, or?
Yeah, she's listened to calls and she's done
Okay.
all that. And yeah, I told her, I said, you've got a testimony. So
Yeah.
anyway, so she's, talking to people. And
Okay.
so her intent is to, get that message out there. So,
Okay.
and so
Well, why
that's
don't
what
we
she's
see
doing.
if we can, we'll get with Beamy with because Beamy is doing, well, she's next Monday will be her call. But they're always looking for people to do their testimony so they can book them out so they're not
Yeah,
scrambling, at the last minute for somebody. Or have
exactly.
people willing to be backup if somebody drops out at the last minute. That's always good to know. So
Right.
you check with Loretta to see if
That
she
she
would
would
be
like to
willing
do
to
it.
do that.
Yeah.
And then, if she has like paperwork, like her lab work that we could post up on the screen,
Yeah.
with that says no known allergy or no allergies or clear, whatever it says, plus her original, or one that showed what her
Yeah. She had like 5. She had 5 you know, in her life, during her life, I think
Yeah.
she's 5 autoimmune diseases,
Okay,
all at the same time.
okay. And so what is happening with the rest of those?
They're all gone.
They're all gone.
She doesn't have anything. She is actually, yeah, and the way that she got introduced to the patches, she came walking into Veggies. She had her arm in a sling, and I asked her what was going on, and she said that her arm was hurting really, really bad.
Yeah.
So I gave her some of that X30. I gave her some Ice Wave. I said, "Now take these, and and you'll have to figure out where they go." And but I think that'll help your pain go away. And so, and then of course she called me up the next day and told me her pain went away. And so I told her about the X39, and I patched her with the X39 and the Ice Wave and the Eon, and she was going to Hawaii. So she used the X39 and the Eon while she was in Hawaii. And then she came back and she said, "I want my husband to use these
Okay,
because he's got the cancer."
yeah,
And so, so so she's, you know,
okay.
him and her, and they're using the energy patch, the carnosine, the glutathione, the
Okay,
Eon, they're using them all.
okay, well, we need to
Using
set
all
up,
the patches.
okay, the other thing I want to talk about is when we get people signed up, um, I want everybody to, when you sign somebody up, if just to call me, we need to have a three-way call so that you're like Loretta knows that there's somebody else out there besides Jan that she's
Joy.
connected to. I'm sorry,
And so
Joy. I'm sorry,
her.
Joy.
You did talk to her, so she knows you.
Okay, so I did
Yeah.
talk to her. Okay,
Yeah, you actually talked to her.
okay. I wasn't sure if that was the one I had talked to.
That
or
was
not.
who you talked
Okay,
to.
but we should do this for everybody, just so they know that this company is different than other companies. We want to be very customer friendly and oriented and focused on our people, whether they're customers or whether they're brand partners.
Right.
And to let them know that, well, Joy is here, and here's Mo's phone number. She could help you if Joy's unavailable. Here's my phone number. I'll give them my phone number. And just so they know, because if one of the things that happened to, and I think it was Onyx Cole, is her sponsor died.
Mm.
So, they're kind of lost if something happens to your sponsor, and because sometimes you don't, like I've got people signed up under me that I've really only met one time and talked to them once, or several times, but we're not friends like you two, that we've known
Yeah.
each other for years. So they wouldn't know what to do, what to, to get help or whatever. So we just need to let them know that the person who signed them up is not the only person
That's
that's
around.
caring for them,
Yeah, and I always let them know. And then there's Bimmy, and then
Yeah.
there's Bart, and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then I don't know where it goes from there. But I said, but you're really blessed because you're like on two legs. I mean, like
Yeah.
you have two teams that you can pull or glean information from.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, actually
Anyway.
3, 4.
Yeah, I know with Cosonics, and then and then this is it. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
There's 4 of them.
And then above them is Robin and Gregory Muscari, and they've been very helpful. I've had conversations with them personally.
Wow.
They're above them all.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is really cool. That is really cool. So, yeah. So I've got people lined up. So I enjoy doing belly to belly business
Uh-huh.
more than I do Facebook. And so I've been in the customer service business for years and years. So, I know how to do customer service. And so that's how I do, that's how I do it best, I believe. So anyway.
Okay. All right. We got a minute or two. Does anybody have any last questions or?
Pam, you look so dark.
Yeah, something's going on with my camera. I can tell it's getting some kind of like, because it doesn't see me, but
Yeah,
I can tell it can tell if it's light or dark.
And do
Yeah.
you have it switched to where it's not actually showing you, but it might be showing what's behind you?
I don't know. This happened, I dropped it. It
Oh,
happened after I dropped it.
yeah.
So I don't know what's going on. One of these days, maybe I can get it fixed.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well then, Joy, if you would check with Loretta to see if she would be willing to do this.
a testimony.
Because
Okay.
otherwise we won't. I mean, I explained to her that, her story could really help a lot of people. There's a lot of people with lots of allergies out there, and and I really don't think I've ever heard any testimony with that result.
Right. So
You
what she did was she and her husband went on, they've gone vegan.
Yeah.
So they've changed their lifestyle, their diet, their lifestyle, and they're doing the patches.
Okay. Okay.
And so, yeah, it's exactly what they're doing. I don't think they're gonna stop. I
Okay.
don't think they're gonna.
No, it doesn't sound like it.
I
So.
don't think they're gonna stop. I think they're gonna keep it up. Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for getting on here.
It was
Thank you.
awesome to talk to you.
And
Good to hear from you too, Joy.
It was good to talk to you, Pam.
I'm gonna